The laugh echoed across the polished office, sharp and careless. It was the kind of laugh that came from someone who believed the world had already decided who mattered and who didn't. No one noticed how the young woman standing near the desk quietly folded her hands, steadying herself, carrying a secret that would change everything. Because in just a few minutes, kindness would do what money, power, and pride never could. Before we begin, take a quick moment to support stories that lift the heart. If you believe kindness still matters in this world, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Kindness Lights, where simple acts create powerful change. The story begins on a rainy Tuesday morning in downtown Chicago. The kind of morning when umbrellas collided on sidewalks and people rushed past one another without eye contact. Inside one of the city's largest shopping malls, tension filled the air. Sales were down, tenants were complaining, and the owner, millionaire real estate tycoon Richard Halston, was in no mood for mistakes. Richard sat behind a glass desk in his corner office, dressed in a flawless navy suit. Around him stood his management team, all men in similar suits, all nodding along as he spoke. He was known for his sharp instincts and even sharper tongue. People respected him, but few felt comfortable around him. That morning, security had brought in a young woman who had asked for a meeting. She wore jeans, simple sneakers, and a plain gray shirt. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a neat ponytail. No jewelry. No designer bag. Just calm eyes and a quiet posture. Richard barely looked up when she was announced. "Sir," the assistant said, "she says it's important." Richard sighed. 5 minutes. That's all. The young woman stepped forward. "Good morning, sir. My name is Emily Carter." Richard glanced at her, then smirked. "And what can I do for you, Miss Carter?" "If you're here about a store complaint, talk to management." Emily shook her head gently. "I'm not here to complain." That's when she said it. "Sir, I'm the new owner of this shopping mall." For a split second, the room went silent. Then Richard laughed. Not a polite laugh. Not a nervous one. A loud, confident laugh that spread to the men standing behind him. The laughter stung, but Emily didn't flinch. "That's a good one," Richard said, wiping a tear from his eye. "You almost had me." "Security, please." "I understand why you don't believe me," Emily said calmly. "But if you just look at the documents I brought." Richard waved his hand. "Miss, I've worked my entire life to own properties like this. You don't just walk in off the street and claim ownership." Emily took a slow breath. "May I tell you a short story first?" Richard hesitated. Something in her voice made him pause. 2 minutes, he said. Emily nodded. 7 years ago, I was a broke college student. My dad had passed away, and my mom was sick. I worked 2 jobs just to keep us afloat. One winter, my mom collapsed at this very mall. We couldn't afford treatment. Security asked us to leave. The men in the room shifted uncomfortably. But one person didn't, Emily continued. A man in a suit stopped and helped us. He paid for the ambulance, stayed until help arrived, and told me something I never forgot. He said, "Money is loud, but kindness echoes longer." Richard's smile slowly faded. Emily reached into her folder and slid a document across the desk. "That man was my grandfather." "You knew him as Samuel Carter." Richard froze. Samuel Carter was a legend in real estate. Quiet. Generous. A man who believed in helping people without cameras or headlines. He had been Richard's mentor decades ago. Emily went on. Before he passed away, he put his assets into a trust. He told me that one day, when the time was right, I would inherit this mall. But only if I promised to lead with kindness. Richard stared at the paper. His hands trembled as he scanned the page. At the bottom was a signature he knew all too well. Samuel Carter. The room was silent again, but this time, no one laughed. Richard slowly stood up. This can't be real." Emily met his eyes. "It is. And I'm not here to fire anyone. I'm here to change how this place treats people." Something shifted inside Richard. Memories flooded back, of a younger version of himself, struggling, hopeful, helped by a kind old man who believed in him. I lost my way, Richard said quietly. Somewhere along the line, I forgot. Emily smiled softly. It happens. That's why kindness matters. Over the next months, the mall changed. Employees were treated with respect. Small local businesses were given fair leases. A fund was created to help workers during hard times. Customers felt it. Sales rose, but more importantly, so did trust. Richard stayed on, not as the boss, but as a partner. He learned to listen. To help. To lead differently. One afternoon, he saw Emily helping a janitor who had dropped his supplies. She didn't know Richard was watching. She didn't need credit. And in that moment, Richard understood something simple and powerful. Kindness doesn't announce itself. It doesn't wear expensive clothes. But it can change lives, legacies, and even hearts that thought they were too hard to break. So the next time you feel invisible, the next time someone laughs at you, remember this story. Because one act of kindness, given freely, can echo further than wealth ever will. And you never know. The person you choose to respect today might be the one who changes your world tomorrow. If this story touched you, share it. Live it. And keep the light of kindness shining.